Our next question from us is from Jung Toi To, jungler from Haiphong Jungling Theater. Let me read the question for you. Hello, Supreme Master Xinghai. I'm a regular viewer of Supreme Master Television. I'm touched by your noble deeds for the world and all beings. I would like to ask, the Supreme Master Xinghai International Association has activities worldwide, especially in curbing global warming, and has the support of many people and governments. Why is it not officially operating in our lugs?
Maybe it will be, yes. Yes, everything changes all the time. Political situation change, people change, planetary change, moral standard change, humanity change for better. Everything changes all the time. This question perhaps it's just temporarily. In the future, we don't even need to ask these questions. Or even if we do, the whole world is our home. So if we do not have a chance to operate in this little room, we will have a chance to operate in another room. Yes, but we are doing something in Aulak all the time. Our association members there spread the SOS global warming, and they go about planting trees in many barren areas with the government's support and the officials' recognitions. We also do much disaster relief there with also the government support and endorsement and help, with transportation and guiding and helping us to find the victims or which victims are the most in need, etc., etc. So maybe we're not fully, officially operating in Aulak or Vietnam, but we are operating nevertheless, okay? And everything will change all the time, yes. Anyway, I'm very glad that some Vietnamese people can come here to Thailand to participate in this event, this meaningful, organized, global saving event. So that shows that Vietnam is a free country and yes, perhaps there's not enough facilities in Vietnam for now, but in the future, there will be. The whole world will change. The whole world will change. And one more thing I have to say, yes, that the Vietnamese, they even in the World Trade Organization, which is an honor and privilege and an advantage for Vietnam. And many countries in the world are sending representative, head of state, leaders of organizations to Vietnam to visit, to exchange policy, to exchange ideas, to help Vietnam or to learn from Vietnam. I'm very happy with the progress in Vietnam. So that is some good point, and we look for the positive all the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master. So the next question is about panel. It's for Dr. Nguyen Thong Yen from Nguyen Dak Quy.
Presently, many people lack information or haven't yet realized the seriousness of global warming. They always think that it's a reality that cannot be answered, and they just let it be. As a scientist specializing in changing weather patterns, could you please let us know the effect of global warming on Aulak, Vietnam in particular, and another country in the region in the coming years? And what is your message to those who are not concerned about human survivals. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank you for the question. The problem is that the people are not aware of the global warming and climate change disaster that will come. And the people in the scientific community said that no matter how we do the reduction of greenhouse gases, the global warming will continue in the next century and also in the future. So the problem is now is to bring the awareness to the people. It's what we are doing, we are beginning to do, because the global warming problem is known very recently, some decades back, and having a vegetarian diet to fight against climate change is also very recent. And we begin to propagate the idea of eating less meat, eating no meat, is a way to fight against climate change.
Right.
The problem in our country is the same as in other developing countries. Our country would be one of the most affected by climate change. According to a World Bank report in 2007, our country will be among the 5 countries the most affected by sea level rise. And you see that when the sea level rise about 1 meter above the level now, then among these 5 countries, our country will be the most affected, except 2. One is for the agricultural land flooded. We will be second place after Egypt. And the total land to be flooded by 1 meter rise of sea level, we will be second after one of the island, the Maldives, something like that. But in other domains like the diminution of the GDP, the diminution of land, we will be classed first. So the problem is very urgent.
Yes.
And as other countries, if the sea level rise above 1 meter, our country will lose 5 million tons of rice every year because of the loss of land for agriculture and also because of the intrusion of the water far into the land. Now, what have we done in our country? I have to say that we are very behind what is done in other countries, especially we are much behind Bangladesh, for example. Bangladesh is a country which is also menaced by the sea level rise. But the official authorities had been very active recently. They have founded what is called the NAPA, the National Adaptation Program of Action, that consider every domains of human activities like agriculture, industry, and so on. Everyone have to sit together to find a way, first, to adapt to the climate change, and second, to find a way to mitigate the causes of climate change. And now your question is about how the scientists can do. I think what we can do is to tell people to think positive and act positive by eating less meat, eating no meat. We have to do everything. First, to reduce the consumption of fossil fuel, because it is one of the cause of CO2 emission. But recently, people found that a very, very good way to reduce the greenhouse gases is to reduce the livestock sector. And the livestock sector reduction of gas emission can be forced upon by the consumers. If the consumers don't eat meat or eat less meat, then we can have a very good effect. While the reduction of fossil fuel is very difficult, but the vegetarian diet is a better way, a way that the individual can take. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Bravo, doctor. Bravo.
Next question for Master is from Tan Bin Chio, traditional opera artist, who is absent today, Master, so I'm simply going to read this for him.
All right, please.
Hello, Supreme Master Ching Hai. Thank you for your devoted efforts to the world. I'm so happy and believe in the bright prospect of the planet when all of humankind adopts a vegan diet. I have a question as follows. In addition to the solution, Be Veg, Go Green, which you have compassionately launched, is there any other effective solution to help reduce and stop emissions so that our planet could return to its original green, clean, and beautiful state and end global warming?
Please tell him that I thank him for his positive vision and hope that he always uphold it as a torchlight for others. As far as effective solutions to global warming, if there is another solution as nearly effective, I would have shared it already. Since I also live on this planet, I also worry about our planet. So if there's anything better or as good as the veg solution, I would have been glad to announce it. So actually, the Be Veg, Go Green message sums up the best solutions, so it's easy to remember. But it says a lot, because being veg, meaning no animal products, can stop 80% of global warming. 80% by our own doing. No protocol, no difficulty, no tax, nothing to pay. This Being Veg practice will stop 80% of global warming and almost immediately. Therefore, it is most effective. We just need more people to join the vegan and compassionate circle to make it work. It's the most urgent, time-sensitive solution, in addition to allowing us time to even begin all other solutions. Because we stop 80% of global warming and the remaining 20%, either nature will then be strong enough to take care of herself, or we can work on it by going green. Going green encompasses many solutions within it. There is the individual level. We can be frugal and save electricity and water. Companies can make their products in an eco-friendly way, like without plastic, less packaging, etc. And governments can have the time to install green technology like solar and wind energy, wave power, so on and so forth, and share these with other countries. So first, we have to be veg. Second, go green. Then we can save the planet. First, be veg. And then we have time to go green. One supportive solution is do good. Doing good deeds for our families, our friends, strangers, and society at large. This will generate positive, beneficial, benevolent energy to help us to deal with negative, dark, menacing energy that is causing disaster and trouble, disease, suffering for our planet. Only the positive energy can cancel the negative energy. There's no other way. Your work as an opera artist is also helping because you not only entertain people, but you remind people of many virtues through the operas, through the script and your act. In addition, we can also pray to heaven for protection and mercy and pray that all beings may be safe and have a brighter future. All these, be veg, go green, do good, and prayer, together will be a formula to generate incredible, constructive, positive, loving energy. It will be very powerful to counter the disastrous energy that is almost enveloping our planet. In the end, it is this wonderful, powerful energy that will save our world. Thank you, Mr. Tan. I'm also a fan of yours.
We'll have to tell him that.
Yes, please tell him.
Thank you. Next question for Master is from Rewadi Uka Watanakrawi.
สวัสดีค่ะท่านอาจารย์ขอบคุณที่ท่านอาจารย์ให้โอกาสพวกเราพี่น้องชาวไทยกับเวียดนามมาพบกันอีกครั้งหนึ่งและประเทศต่างๆได้มีโอกาสมาพบกันณที่นี้ Thank you Master to let us to try together again. Thank you Master to be here in Thailand. What are the strong features of Thailand that can help the world get through the climate crisis? Thank you, Master.
ขอบคุณค่ะ ขอบคุณมากๆค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะอาจารย์
How are you, Kuan Yin?
ขอบคุณค่ะอาจารย์สบายดีค่ะ
Thank you for your important question. I also feel that each and every country has different strengths they can offer to help the world in this time of crisis, materially, socially, and even spiritually. I'm sure Thailand has multiple strengths to contribute to the world. But I think your country's moral and spiritual quality is a special noteworthy strength. I have always admired Thailand and her people for their noble tradition and moral values and their humility. I believe this has a basis in the teaching of the Buddha. The government, for example, His Royal Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen, Her Royal Highness the Princess, His Royal Highness the Prince, etc., the royal household, also respect and have faith in these good, wise, universal teachings. This is a very good example for Thai people. The Buddha taught kindness, sharing, not harming the natural environment, and compassion for all beings, which includes being vegetarian, as you are. Kuan Yin. These teachings are not just spiritual stepping stones for reaching enlightenment, but also very practical ways to sustain our physical world so that it would last and harmoniously. So the strongest, most beneficial feature of Thailand is that you are already somewhat immersed in a nobler way of life since ancient times, being a Buddhist country. But more importantly, we must put the teaching into practice, the teaching of the Buddha. We must stop killing of the sentient beings, whether directly or indirectly. Directly means like the butcher, the people who raise livestock for meat. Indirectly are the consumer, the one who buy meat to encourage this practice to go further. Or else, the Buddha has said, there will be consequences according to the killing action. It's stated very clearly in the Lankavatara Sutra. The Buddha said, meat eaters have so many countless offenses. Thus, vegetarians have masses of countless merits and virtues. So, these merits and virtues of a vegan diet are the best strength anyone or any country could have in this time of crisis. If we want life for ourselves and for our planet, we would heed this wisdom and get rid of the meat diet. I pray that Thailand will also return to her original, glorious, noble way of life. May the Buddhas bless you all. Your country, Thai people. Thank you, Kun Ying.
ขอบคุณค่ะอาจารย์
Thank you for being there.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Next question for Master is from Rungnapa Thirajaran Sakun. He's a gift shop owner and vegetarian.
สวัสดีค่ะท่านอาจารย์
Also vegetarian. Wow.
อยากถามอาจารย์ว่าไข้หวัดปี 2009 ร้ายแรงขึ้นทุกวันจะหยุดยั้งมันได้อย่างไร I love you อาจารย์
I love you too, Kun Ying. Rungnapa. You see, this is a tragedy of our time. One of the worst, unprecedented, unstoppable right now. That is the swine flu. It is very sad, very deadly every day. How it will be halted? Yes, I do share your concern about this tragic, painful, frightening situation that we have gotten into, but it's our own making. The so-called swine flu is very frightening because we are told it is likely to get worse and more widespread and more deadly. To remind us, I will share a few recent findings from the researchers and the World Health Organization. Firstly, swine flu is unprecedentedly the fastest growing pandemic we have ever seen. Imagine, and we have seen so many, we have known so many in the past. It became a pandemic in just 2 months. Previously, similar deadly flu viruses took at least half a year to spread globally. And we have heard so many bad ones already. But this swine flu is likely to infect 2 billion people. That is 1 in every 3 persons in the world over 2 years be infected. We are already close to 2,000 officially counted fatalities, and there could be thousands more without a vaccine. But even the vaccine is not completely reliable. We hear of death case every day, officially only. Unofficially, we would never be able to know. First, the supply for everyone is sorely inadequate. The vaccine. We don't have enough vaccine. Next, the virus in some cases was completely resistant to the vaccine even. The vaccine did not help at all. And now some British researchers said that the vaccine might not be much help for the children who are in the most vulnerable group. Isn't that frightening and sad? If you have children, I'm sure you worry day and night. Many countries are prepared to close schools or already closed schools, prepared to close school completely even. Every schools in the country to stop the spread of the disease or to minimize the risk for the children. Some developed countries even, like France. So how can we stop this unfolding, terrifying nightmare? You ask. The only way to halt it is to make sure it can never happen again in the first place. That is no more animal raising, stop the virus at its source, which is precisely at the utterly inhumane, filthy, cramped, hot, soiled, bacteria-infested pig farm. Pig farms are the source of swine flu. We have to stop pig farming. We have to stop the place where the swine flu originated and spread and mutated and become worse and worse every day for us. Thus, the root cause of the swine flu virus is our cruel meat-eating habit that makes us a very cruel being and not very dignified as that. As long as meat industry continues, such viruses will continue to be born. After this one, we will have the next and the next and the next and the next. And one of them will be even worse than we can imagine now, and more deadly, as the experts have warned us long ago. The animal farms must be closed. And to do that, we must be vegan. By the way, the swine flu is by far not the only scary disease that also comes from or is spread by humans' cruel treatment of animals. Avian flu, tuberculosis, listeria, Crohn's disease, mad cow disease, Campylobacter, Staphylococcus aureus, etc., etc. And now we have its more dangerous form called MRSA, namely methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. It's a superbug, meaning there is no antibiotic to cure it. No antibiotic for this superbug. We have it now in our world. And its likely source is because we fed the animals too many antibiotics. So this disease arose because we overbreed animals and create the conditions for the disease to form and spread. Other disease came from hunting, another cruelty committed on the poor animals. HIV, the killer of 25 million people since 1981, is from humans' consumption of primates. And just recently, as you know from the news, people in China are dying from the pneumonic plague, which originated from hunting mammoths for food. It's very contagious and can kill a victim within 24 hours. So, all these diseases, not just the swine flu, could be prevented if only humans turn away from such unhealthy, cruel, violent habits. The habits of raising, hunting, and eating animal flesh. It has to be stopped, the consuming of animal flesh. Thank you for asking this very heart-wrenching question.
Thank you, Master. The next question is for Dr. Ong Chumsai Na Ayutthaya from Mr. Prapanwad, Publication Department of Amarin Printing and Publishing. He is absent today, so I'll read the questions for you. In the big picture, global warming seems too large-scale and far-fetched. Can you give a more close-to-home examples of impact of global warming so that people can realize how serious it is, and how can we take part in alleviating this problem?
Well, there's a big problem with the imbalance in the world because the rising sea, it's rising up all the time. We have more weight in the Pacific Ocean, more so than on the other side of the world. And because of this, there is an imbalance in the world. The world is going around like a top in space, moving around the axis, and it's steady, it's peaceful, but then we start to increase the weight on one side more than the other. So it's just when you play a top, you spin the top, normally the top will spin on its axis steadily, but suppose we put a little bit of clay on one side of the top and then try to spin it again. This time it will start to wobble. It will no longer spin on its original axis. So is the world. We are going to have a lot of problems because of this unbalance, and it's possible the worst scenario is that it will suddenly change the axis of rotation. This has happened before in our world in the past. The North Pole has not always been where it is. It has changed in the past because the world became hot when we got closer to the sun. Sometimes we are further away from the sun, so we got the ice age. So there's a lot of imbalance, and many times there's a change in the axis of the rotation of the world. Well, that is the worst scenario that could happen. But also, because of the imbalance in the weight around the world, the earth crust is also moving. And because the earth crust is moving, we're going to get more earthquakes. We're going to get more tsunamis. We're going to have a lot of problems because when you have tsunamis, big waves are going into the shores of various countries. It's very destructive. So these are some of the worst examples that could happen in the very near future because of the global warming effect. Thank you.
Good answer, Doctor. Good answer.
Next question for Master is from Huang Kim Tan.
Con kính chào sư phụ ạ.
Kính chào anh Hoàng Kim Thành.
Kính thưa sư phụ, con xin thành tâm kính xin ngài giải đáp dùm con câu hỏi sau ạ. Vai trò của giới trẻ trong công cuộc cứu vãn địa cầu là gì? Ngài có lời nhắn nhủ hay đề xuất nào để gợi hứng khởi cho thanh niên hành động tích cực hơn trong vấn đề bảo vệ môi trường hay không?
Yes, good question. You see, the young people have a very important role in saving the planet. They are our future. They are at the peak of their energy and idealism. They love justice for people and animals and willingly help when given a chance. They are perceptive and open to new ideas, to what is logical and practical at that moment, rather than being used to the established way of things all the time. So their age group is often the one who tries to be vegetarian to help animal and the environment, which is excellent. The young people have this flexibility that we need right now to react quickly to the emergency of our planet. So their role today is one of action and leading society by their sincere example. Like last year, there was a young teenager who invented a new water purifying technology that could turn polluted household wastewater into pure clean water before even reaching the drain. Very gentle on the environment and the animals, not to mention humans. And it only costs about $6 to make. That's remarkable, nah? He won first place out of thousands of inventors in an international contest in Sweden. Of course, like all of us, The young people sometimes are too busy in their daily lives to study or spend time with their friends or their hobbies. But it seems that given a chance and information, the young people would understand clearly that it's not just the environment, but the people and the animals, including themselves, who are in danger right now due to climate change. They will be even more inspired when they know they have the power to do something about it. And now, but they must take time to inform themselves or be informed also. The best thing they can do to protect the environment is to be veg. I can never emphasize it enough. Very easy, yet very, very powerful solution, being veg. So the youth have a heroic mission right now to help save the world. Just to be veg and spread the information to other youth and other people. Thank you, Hoàng Kim Thành.
Vâng, xin chào sư phụ ạ.
Cảm ơn anh ha.
Next question for Master is from Boy Wang Wan, IT staff.
Con xin kính chào sư phụ.
Chào anh Bùi, anh Huân.
Con rất là vui khi được nhìn thấy sư phụ hôm nay. Dear Master, our inhabitants and humankind are being affected by global warming. So, do those animal friends ever praise for the gods' grace to help save the planet? And what roles do they play in coping global warming? Thank you, Master.
Thank you. I'm glad you asked this question, as it expresses regard for our animal friends. The animals indeed have very important roles just by being here on our planet. Your first question, I will answer that most animals are in touch with God's grace already at every moment of their lives here on earth. They bring to our planet this divine grace and love, the power of love in its purest form. They are here to help the planet become more elevated. So in a way, their presence itself is like a prayer being answered, because they bring the blessings through them from the divine to which they are so near. So much more the reason they deserve our respect and protection. The animals are truly noble, gentle beings, selfless, and in harmony with one another, the environment, and with heaven. Their role has always been since time immemorial. That is to bring love and blessing to the world with their pure presence. Even in the physical aspect, scientists have shown time and again how each and every species fulfill a valuable role in nature. They keep the ecosystems in balance. Every pond, every forest, every desert, and the air and the oceans all around us are in balance, thanks to the plants and animals working together to make it so and keep it so. They are also humans' helpers, our companions. If we would only stop harming and torturing them and killing them, and give them a chance to fulfill their God-given mission, then our planet will be saved and will be kept in splendor. So in answer to your second question, Mr. Bui, about their role in global warming, they are, by their presence, helping our Earth as much as possible. However, global warming and climate change, even the war and disasters, are humans' doings. And they know it is up to humans to change their destructive course and return to being peaceful dwellers of this planet. They wait on the sidelines in full support of humans for the day they can be our friends again, truly, not our victims. On that day of peacemaking between humans and animals, our eyes may begin to be opened to our co-inhabitants' true magnificent roles on earth. Thank you, Huang.
Thank you, Master.
Cảm ơn ha.
Cảm ơn sư phụ.
Next question from Master is from Tasani Tantumarod, employee of an electronics company.
Hello, Master.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you for holding this seminar in Thailand. For how long can our recent activities to elevate global warming postpone to deadline? Or have they already stopped the disaster that are supposed to happen in next 3 years?
Mr. Tantum Maroj, thank you for your concern for our planet's future. Your concern is everybody else's concern, and it is my concern too. It is true that our efforts to alleviate global warming in the recent few years helped to postpone already the deadline, somehow, somewhat, for some time. Not so long ago, we only had about 2 years before we faced the point of no return. Then, as more and more people put in effort, namely by switching to a vegan diet with a wish to help the planet, this powerful wish helps, and this powerful action helps. So time was added because of each one's great positive energy through this compassionate diet and well wish, until we had an extension of about 4 years now. Of course, this is also heaven's great merciful grace for giving us this second chance. The deadline, however, does not get postponed forever. In fact, every day on Supreme Master Television, there is a countdown of how many days we have left to change before it is too late. Today is day 1257. We can still save a great part of our population if we become vegan. Now, thanks to the millions of people who have become vegetarian or vegan recently, already some of the disasters that were already at our doorsteps were mitigated or in some cases even dissolved completely. But you see, even so, we must still continue to spread the urgent message and encourage those around us and our governments and the media to help to spread the organic vegan solution. I want to plead with everybody, with everyone in power, with every media agency, every reporter, everyone that has power, everyone that has some power, everyone who is ordinary citizens, please be veg to save our planet. Everything else will go along fine. We will have time to implement other solution, which is not as urgent as stopping the killing of animals for meat, because it is meat that is threatening our planet existence. It is meat that caused the global warming. So we have to stop the cause of global warming and the cause of destruction to our planet. That is meat industry. Meat, fish, dairy. These are the killer of our planet and the killer of our children, the killer of our future generation. If we do not heed the scientists' warning and all the evidence and become veg, then more disaster will keep on coming. One may be worse than another. Maybe we will not be able to cope. Now, If we look around, we can see the growing frequencies and strength of disasters everywhere. Flood events worldwide are now 3 times higher than in the 80s. In 2008, there were 40 Category 5 storms, the most ever recorded, including the Atlantic, India, and Bangladesh, and in the Philippines. It takes just one Category 4 or 5 storm to destroy a major city, just one. What's more, we have more reports of unending drought, freezing weather, storms, and animal species, and even plant and tree species slipping away faster and faster because they are unable to withstand the global warming consequences. These are truly almost always the consequences of humans' violent actions. The number one action is meat eating. So we are grateful we have a few more days to help more of our fellow world citizens to change to the benevolent diet to save our planet. But, these days are still numbered. We can't prolong forever. We can stop the disasters, make them go away for good, forever. Make all the unfavorable disease situations, threatening weather to go away. If all of us switch to the organic vegan diet, pray it be so. Thank you.
Thank
For
you,
you.
Master.
Thank you. The next question is for panelists. Dr. Min Gail from Teng Thới Minh Chau, Public Servants for Government.
Dear Dr. Minh Kiều, recently some governments have to take some important decisions regarding GMO food, like the EU and USA, for instance. What is your opinion regarding GMO food? And what do you advise us to do to prevent the GMO industry from expanding? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I think that is the big question. And so it's difficult to answer. But from the nutrition point of view, the more nature, the more happiness. So if you ask me to give community an advice, I think the advice is that please choose more and more the natural food in your meal and least processed food as much as possible. I think that's also the way to prevent disease. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, doctor. Very good.
Thank you.
Next question for Master is from Nguyen Van Tien, chef of a vegetarian restaurant.
Hi there. Chào ông Tiến.
Kính thưa sư phụ, được hồng ân của Ngài, hôm nay được hội tụ về đây, chúng con và tất cả quan khách được ở trong một mái nhà thân thương để nói lên những sự tầm quan trọng, thì chúng con xin phép Ngài thông điệp của sư phụ gửi tới những nhà lãnh đạo đất nước, các tổ chức, cá nhân cũng như toàn nhân loại vào thời điểm khẩn cấp này là gì ạ? Kính thưa cảm ơn sư phụ.
Cảm ơn bác. Yes, Mr. Nguyen. My message is the same as I have spoken all along during this time together. To sum up, to all the leaders, I call on them once more to put their love first for their countrymen and women, and for all the children to accept with courage the deed that must be done, to use the mighty power in their hand and trust it by people to save the world. The global livestock industry is now contributing almost about as much to global warming as the energy sector, or even more. And I know it contributes at least 80% of it. Meat production is depleting your people's water, damaging their health, pushing them to war, and breeding new deadly disease each day. It's killing your people. Only you can stop it. They need your shining, heroic vegan example because they really look to their governments, to their leaders. They will be greatly facilitated by your laws for organic vegan farming and campaigns or laws to make the much needed lifestyle vegan change. Your co-citizens, your subjects, will appreciate you, praise you, love you, support you. And they will remember you for saving the world for generations to come even, for saving their lives and the lives of their loved ones, as well as their future children. And heaven will reward you greatly. Lead the wage change. Promote forgiveness and peace, and then even all other troubles like poverty, conflict, even financial crisis, pandemic will also subside. I thank you, leaders of nations, for all the efforts in this direction so far. But if you allow me, I honestly say that what we are doing and planning now is not enough and not fast enough. And I bid you the courage and faith to do more and faster. To the organizations of the world, including the media, who understand the strength of a social movement, thank you for your work to inform and encourage people to the exciting, humane, beneficial, chic, animal-free, the vegan way of life. To the individuals, thank you for doing your part to save our planet. But please, to make it in time, we have more to do, and we have little time. We have to continue to urge our leaders and our fellow human beings, neighbors, to change. Be vegan to save themselves and their families and children, and the animals, and everything they feel is worth living for. We can get out of the danger, but through the right direction. Our house is on fire, but the water hose is right there in front of us. Just pick it up and use it. It's as simple as that. Just be vegan, and please be quick. Our days are numbered. To all humankind, heaven loves you so much. So we have hope for the planet's survival. More than ever before, we shall awaken to a new, compassionate, vegan planet that is full of loving energy, kindness, and blessings, no end from heaven. I pray you all will continue towards this peace in our reach. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
We turn now to our expert panel for a question. Dr. Chemnirn Vorat Chepan will answer a question from Stephanie Adam, Community Development Advocacy Worker.
Thailand and Olac, or Vietnam, are situated in the Mekong River Valley, which is foreseen to have a lot of bad effects by global warming. According to you, in what ways can these two countries collaborate to deal with issues of global warming while waiting for the global communities to act together?
Well, thank you so much for your questions. Well, environment has no boundaries. Climate change also has no boundaries. Whatever people in Vietnam are suffering, the Thais also are suffering. So that means that by working together and sharing of information, that's one of the basic things that we can do. Second thing is how to prepare in order to cope with the impacts of the climate change. Consider that's very important. I have been working in the Asia Pacific region regarding the preparedness, disasters, the preparedness in Asia. I consider that Vietnam one of the most prepared, in the region, right? So I think that whether in terms of the information collecting and also identifying the critical or the hotspots where the impacts of the climate change occur, particularly in the delta of the Mekong River. And I think that we should have the exchange in these practices, and I think that the government and as well as the people and at the community level should learn and should share between these two countries. I totally agree, with the, as I mentioned earlier, BVAC, right? But there's still a lot of exchange, import and export of meat between the two borders, Thai and Vietnam. Please stop eating meat. And after that, the people will not export the meat, to Vietnam. Okay? So I think that this is considered as a very important. We should be realistic. And some, of the export of the meat are considered as illegal practices. And also we should stop that. Thank you. Could I take opportunity in order to ask the Master a little bit?
Please.
Thank you so much. You are considered for us one of the prominent spiritual leaders in the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I consider that you have powers and strength of yourself and also your association. I would like you to spread out these challenging tasks in order to stop or in order to reduce or in order to avoid the destruction of this planet to these groups. One is that the International Panel on the Climate Change is going to meet at the end of the year in Copenhagen.
Yes.
If possible, I would like you to make another side meeting and spread out this spiritual side of the message to the climate change. Because on the spiritual aspect, right, it's a very little talk about.
Yes.
As I said in my presentation, they overemphasize on the economic instrument and other technological instrument, not from within, as you always say. So I think this is a very great challenging, and I think that you can do it with your own strength and your own power.
Wow.
Second group, right, I would like you to spread this challenge and warnings to the industrialists. They are the great polluters in the world, and they are not here in this room, and they have to pollute the world and carry on, right, in order to destroy our planet. So I think that you have a chance to do it, please do so. Third group, that's really for the young children. I understand that you love children, and I would like to have really a solid practical program for the children of the earth in this world, in order to learn, in order to know more, to be less materialistic, but to be more spiritual. And this aspect could be more sustainable. Thank you so much.
That's right, sir. That's right. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for entrusting us with such a very, I would say, heavy but noble mission. The association friends and I myself are trying our best. In fact, I'm working day and night, And many of us are working day and night, even in my sleep, in my mealtime, my time with my dogs. I think of nothing else. I'm working for nothing else but to join you in saving the world and the people. Concerning the government and the industrial company and the press, I'm writing to them. I have been writing to them, and I'm still writing to them to inform them of the urgency of our climate as well as the practical, simple, easy solution. Concerning the spiritual aspect of our standard of the world, I trust that Jesus has taught us a lot. Buddha has led us into a compassionate way of living. Prophet Muhammad have instructed his people in a wise way of living, compassionate way of living. The Jain master, the Sikh master, etc., etc. We have had so many spiritual teaching. We all have to just put them into practice. Like love thy neighbor, yes, animals are our friend. Be compassionate to all beings. All main religious doctrine have taught us already this. I myself, I am doing my part and request my association members to do their part. And we're doing our best, and we're praying also with our heartfelt love for all people, because they are just not informed. Just like many of us, before becoming vegetarian, we were not informed. Therefore, I have nothing but love and compassion for people, and of course for the animals who suffer so much. And because of their suffering, we reap the suffering in return. But you see, Doctor, I have to speak in a neutral way. So many religious groups and leaders have already told people to do good. And so many religious scriptures have already taught us. I only teach the persons who come to my place and ask for spiritual guidance. Or in some occasion when I go out to lecture. The rest of the time, right now, I'm only telling people general guideline to save the planet because this is urgent. And even in saving the planet, being wage, this is also the basis of a spiritual moral and virtue. If a person who tried to be vegetarian, to save himself, to save his children, family, and to save the world, then he is a very spiritual, noble-oriented person. I have no wish to even take him into my circle to be my students or anything of the sort. I only wish him or her to be morally fit as a human being, as a dignified, civilized, intelligent, loving human beings to one another by sacrificing whatever necessary to save other beings. In this case, we don't sacrifice much. We just switch a piece of meat to another piece of vegetable protein. I think the sacrifice is very minimum and is maximum worthwhile. So in this case, if the whole planet people turn into this kind of virtuous, compassionate living, then I think they are the best Buddhists, they are the best Christian, they are the best Muslim, they are the best Jainists, they are the best Sikh, they are the best Baha'is in whatever religions or in whatever school of faith that they belong to. Because actually they're all the same. All the faith, all the religions say the same thing. It's just we miss the point. We must study our religious scriptures again and pick out the point. That is useful for our planet right now. That is be compassionate. That is treat all beings with respect according to all the religious scriptures and God's will. So in that case, you see, they don't even have me to teach them. They teach themselves. And they just stay where they are with their religious faith and just exercise the teaching of their own religious doctrine. That will be very good for our planet right now. You see, as for spiritual teaching, that is spiritual enough for me. Our association are just a small group, and we are just practicing what the religious teacher taught us. Yes, and we put it into practice, and also, of course, we get in touch with our own loving divine power by just some simple technique. Scientifically, everything has a technique and has a way. But if people just beware and adhere to their religious teaching, which is compassionate lifestyle, dignified status of the children of God or the Buddha's son and daughters, then we are fine spiritually. Concerning the children, sir, if the parents are well grounded in a spiritual basis, as I have just mentioned right now, then the children will follow, and they will have a chance to live a virtuous life and also, consequently, saving our planet. And the third group, the industry sectors, exists because the demand of people. We demand, so they make. So if we stop demanding something which we think are not conducive to our global survival, then the industry will stop to exist also. But nevertheless, I write to these people, the industry people as well as government and media, as much as in my power, yes, and my time allow. And I also plead with other people to please write to the government, the media, and industry group as well, and write to the farmers, explain to them. This I have talked long time ago also already, that we should contact the farmers, for example, the animal farmers, and explain to them our dire situation and offer them the alternative way of life. They can switch to planting organic vegetable, not just vegetable. Organic is even better, of course, because organic farming absorbs 40% of the CO2 in the air. So before we stop our industry or making a new invention, organic farming is already a saver of our planet. And then if we stop meat eating as well, and all the animals raising industry stopped, and then we save more from CO2 as well, not to talk about methane. So organic farming is our saver. So we have to stop demanding meat, then the meat industry will cease. We cannot blame meat industry people if we continue to consume meat. We cannot blame drug dealers, alcohol makers, cigarette producer. We cannot even blame the consumers of these deadly substance if we ourselves could not even leave that piece of meat and become vegetarian, which is much easier than stop the addiction of drug, stop the addiction of cigarette, or stop addiction of alcohol. So we ourselves have to be the example. If we want all the bad industry to stop, we have to stop the demand of it. Thank you so much, sir. You are very, very concerned like a father. I am very touched.
Some of the tragic tolls of addictive drug abuse. Over 200,000 deaths each year. Costs of $181 billion each year in the United States. $33 billion in the UK. Lifetime cost of current drug addiction amounts to $575 billion in the UK. Harmful effects: brain damage, stroke, heart disease, liver disease, tuberculosis, emphysema, cancer, depression, suicide, permanent memory loss, mental illness, higher infant mortality, increased crime and violence, impotence. Crime and violence. Illegal drugs are a factor in 50% of burglaries in the United Kingdom each year. In the US, 60% of people arrested each year have been taking illegal drugs. 650 heroin addicts in the US committed 70,000 crimes in a 3-month period. Social costs. U.S. businesses lose $100 billion per year due to employees' drug and alcohol abuse. Australians pay $53 billion per year for healthcare, law enforcement, and lost productivity of drug users. Environmental costs. Every gram of cocaine produced destroys 4.4 square meters of rainforest, with 300,000 hectares of rainforest lost each year to cocaine production. Death. 52 people die each day due to drugs in the U.S. In Canada, substance abuse is attributed to 21% of total deaths and 23% of potential life years lost due to early mortalities. Plus more.
Some of the tragic tolls of tobacco. 5.4 million smoking-related deaths per year worldwide. Cost of smoking-related illnesses, $96 billion in the United States alone. Light and mild cigarettes just as harmful. Causes cancer and diseases in animal companions. Speeds the aging process. Toxic residues of third-hand smoke. Heart disease, coronary thrombosis, cerebral thrombosis, kidney failure.
Cancer, mouth, liver, breast and colorectal cancer, lung cancer, esophagus cancer, kidneys cancer, bladder cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, emphysema, bronchitis.
Stroke, impotence, additional harms for secondhand smoking, childhood arteriosclerosis leading to heart attacks and strokes in adulthood, sudden infant death syndrome, infertility, miscarriages and premature deliveries, childhood asthma, bronchitis, ear infection, cleft lip or palate, hyperactivity and aggression in asthmatic boys, circulatory problems in women. Plus more.
Some of the tragic tolls of alcohol. 2.3 million alcohol-related deaths per year worldwide. Cost of alcohol-related illnesses. $186.4 billion in the United States. Up to $210 to $665 billion globally.
Disease. Higher amounts of alcohol increase the cancer risk. Even half a glass of wine daily increases the risk of mouth or throat cancer by 168%. Cancer of the liver, breast, colon, esophagus, rectum. Liver disease, cardiovascular disease, metal toxicity, brain damage, amnesia and dementia, brain shrinkage.
Organ failure, heart, liver, kidneys, stomach, pancreas, eyes.
Birth defects, children afflicted by anxiety and depression, mental retardation, fetal alcohol syndrome, stunted growth, facial deformity, sudden infant death syndrome, miscarriage.
Alcohol-related violence. Child abuse, 50% of cases. Violence toward loved ones, 30% of cases. Violent acts, 40 to 80% of cases. Suicides, 20 to 50% of cases. Plus more.
For more urgent information, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/killers.
Our next question for Master is from Dr. Aat-ong Chumsai Na Ayutthaya.
Yes, welcome, Doctor.
Dear Supreme Master Ching Hai, in the year 2012, many people, be it monks or famous peoples, have predicted that there will be the most serious disaster on the planet. May I ask you, Supreme Master, what will happen in the year 2012?
Dr. Adong Chumsai, thanks for being with us again. Thanks for blessing us with your pleasant, happy, fatherly presence. And thank you for your wonderful speech, your wonderful lecture earlier on. I watched and was very amazed at your knowledge and your dedication. And thank you also for being vegetarian as well. You are a hero. Yes. Concerning your question, as a NASA scientist, even former NASA scientist, with your senior year now, I'm sure you can guess already the answer. No need for the monks to predict, or no need for me to have any predictions, if I have any prediction at all. Sir, we are in trouble. We are in very deep trouble and in perilous state. And our fate is in our hand. Our fate is in the hands of every person on this planet. Every person on this planet can decide what will happen on the year 2012. Can you imagine how powerful we are? Only if we use our power to stop the disaster that is looming large in front of us. We have no need for any crystal ball, any psychic power or future fortune-telling ability to see this. All the evidence, all these years, all these decades have told us clearly that we are in danger. And luckily, all the evidence also offer us a solution. Regardless of religions, regardless of political direction, regardless of parties, regardless of industry, regardless of all the theologies, we can unite in the heart to save our only planet. It's very simple. To stop the cause of destruction of our planet. The cause of destruction of our planet is our unkindness to our environment, to our co-inhabitants. So now we just stop that. We be kind, we be considerate. We don't have to talk about Buddha's teaching. We talk about the cause and effect scientifically. So now we found out everything that the meat industry is the one that caused our global destruction. We will just have to stop it one way or another. If the governments don't do it, then we do it individually. We spread information, we encourage everyone, we inform everyone to be vegan. But please, I hope the government would please make it into law to forbid killing of animals, to forbid animal livestock raising. If they are truly the leaders that pledge to protect their people, to improve their country in many aspects, then this is the first step we have to do. Stop the meat industry, stop the fish industry, stop the dairy industry. Then our planet will be the way it was and even better. This I can promise. Otherwise, the year 2012, 2013, 2014, we will never know what will happen to us if we do not do the right thing. There's only two ways to do things in our world, the correct way and the incorrect way. And right now, to save the planet, there's only one way to stop the cost. That is the animal industry, by all means, in all aspects. Thank you, sir. That's my prediction. We have to do it. My prediction is that we have to save the planet ourselves.
Thank you, Master.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We are deeply grateful to you, Master, and distinguished panel of experts for your kindly and thorough answers. This ends the questions and answer session with Supreme Master Qinghai and our outstanding scientists. Our heartfelt thanks to you for the enlightening questions that help us all and all people who have global viewers of Supreme Master televisions to receive the beneficial understanding given.
I thank you also, all of you involved, all the distinguished person who have tried their best to express their view, their knowledge, and to inform the public at large. And right now, you are informing the world because we are live on the Supreme Master television, and we will re-air this again. Just the last question of Dr. Ong, really also very thought-provoking question, and it's still lingering in my mind. So in that direction, I would like to inform you something that probably you would not like to hear, but it is necessary to know before we go. You see, in the world, we have many bad news which is not published, which is not informed by the government or many governments or many medias. That is, our world's major rivers are dying. 1/3 are gone or going. The rivers. You know, the source of our life, the water that feed us, billions of us. The major rivers are dying, going, or gone. You see, groundwater wells for 3 billion people are drying up as well. Not just river, but groundwater to make wells are dying. For 3 billion people, we have 6 billion people in this world, and the source of groundwater for wells, which support half of our world population, are dying, drying up. And top 10 global river systems drying or ebbing away. China's Salween River, Europe Danube River, South America La Plata, North American Rio Grande, India's Ganges, the famous Ganges, the holy, the life-sustaining Ganges. Pakistan's Indus River, Africa's Nile River, and Lake Victoria. Australia's Murray-Darling, Southeast Asia's Mekong Lankan, China's Yangtze, etc., etc. They are dying, drying up, ebbing away, day by day. And many major lakes dry up or drying, not including dangerous side effects such as they release CO2, methane, and other gases after they dry or while they are drying. I could list them all for you, but due to lack of time, I will give this to the Supreme Master Television to make a scroll on it. And I will probably name it the Dying Water, something like that. So please look for it for the complete list, shortened, condensed. We can't tell them all. We just pick the major, the famous, big rivers and lakes. In conclusion, I can only tell you that many tens of thousands of rivers and great lakes are dying, dead, gone, or going. And I don't know how many more we must wait for to die in order for us to wake up. The leaders of the nations must do something. The people of all nations must do something. Just because we can still sit here pretty and talk, just because in our areas there is not yet water shortage or food price is gone up, doesn't mean it will not happen to us soon. We have to do something to avoid the tragedy that is already happening to billions of other people. There are 1 billion people hungry already because of climate change and short of waters and food. 1 billion already. And 3 billion people are short of water. How many more? I don't know. How many more of suffering people are we waiting before we take action? Please do it now. Just be veg. Stop the meat, dairy, fish industry. Be benevolent. Create a merciful energy that will envelop our world, that will emit mercy, love, protection for us and our children on this planet. Please take action now. Very simple. Just be veg. Just be veg is truly enough for now. And it will be enough for a long future to come. Just be veg so we have time to save our planet in order to implement any other green measures that we want to implement. But everything is not efficient as being veg. Just be vegan. Please be vegan. Thank you so much. May God, Buddha, the divine power bless you, bless you.
Thank you so much, Master.
I thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
We would like to invite the coordinators of this conference to come forward and give a few closing remarks.
Beloved Master, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen,
ท่านอาจารย์ที่รักแขกผู้มีเกียรติท่านสุภาพสตรีและสุภาพบุรุษทุกท่าน
today we have learned so much about the relationship between our diet and global warming. We have also learned that the most effective way to reverse this potential catastrophe is to adopt a vegan diet.
วันนี้เราได้เรียนรู้มากมายเกี่ยวกับความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างการทานอาหารของเราและภาวะโลกร้อนและเรายังได้เรียนรู้อีกว่าทางออกที่มีประสิทธิภาพที่สุดในการป้องกันภัยพิบัติที่อาจเกิดขึ้นซึ่งก็คือการเปลี่ยนมาทานอาหารมังสวิรัติ
We hope that today's event will inspire you to change to a vegan diet. And if you have already done so, perhaps you can share this important message to someone you love.
เราหวังว่างานในวันนี้ที่จะเป็นแรงบันดาลใจให้ท่านเปลี่ยนมาทานมังสวิรัติและถ้าท่านทานมังสวิรัติอยู่แล้วท่านสามารถแบ่งปันข้อมูลที่สำคัญนี้ให้กับคนที่ท่านรัก
We thank our panelists for sharing their knowledge and time, and we sincerely thank Supreme Master Ching Hai for her enlightening presence and words of wisdom. Thank you, Master.
You're welcome, welcome, very welcome.
We would also like to thank our lovely performers for their devoted contribution.
Yes.
เราขอขอบคุณผู้ทรงคุณวุฒิที่ได้แบ่งปันความรู้และสละเวลาอันมีค่าของท่านและเราขอขอบคุณท่านอนุตราจารย์ชิงไห่สำหรับถ้อยคำแห่งปัญญาของท่านนอกจากนี้เราขอขอบคุณนักแสดงที่น่ารักของเราสำหรับการอุทิศตนของพวกเขา
Once again, we and all distinguished guests and the audience would like to extend our profound gratitude to Master. Thank you, Master, for giving us these precious moments. And once again, our heartfelt thanks to our distinguished presenters. You were truly wonderful. We wish you abundant health and joy. And Thank you to all of our guests spending precious time with us to enjoy the program. Our prayer is for the world inhabitants to soon change to a vegan lifestyle to help save this beautiful planet.
People always ask us how they can help, and Master has given you some of those ideas. We invite you to go home today and ask your family to be vegan. We invite you to go back to your office and invite your co-workers to be vegan. We invite you to use your leadership abilities and invite all the people that you know to be vegan. And maybe you might want to go back to the villages where you were born and show them how to create veggie villages. And I'm sure you have all kinds of ideas. Just let them all soar. And remember, for great vegan recipes and the latest information on climate change, please visit www.suprememastertv.com.
Your children, my children, our children will all say thank you when we save the world. They will say thanks when we restore our ocean back to the hill. 30,000 children a day don't die anymore. 1 billion people don't go hungry every year. We stop losing up to 270 species per day of plants, animals, and birds. The polar ice caps stop their melting, and the permafrost stop giving off dangerous methane and nitrous oxide. Our nations will live and share in harmony all the wealth that this beautiful planet has to offer.
In conclusion, for this climate change program, we have one last question for you. Can we save the planet? Yes, we can! All right. Together we can do it. Good evening. God bless. Be veg. Go green. Save the planet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tôi vô cùng xúc động và nhận thấy cái đường lối này, cái chủ trương này vô cùng quý báu, vô cùng sát thật và nó đi đúng với cái tâm từ ái, từ bi, hỷ xả của đạo Phật. Bây giờ tôi ăn chay và tôi mới có cảm nghĩa rằng là ít bệnh hoạn. Từ đó mà tôi nhận thấy rằng ăn chay là một cái điều mà rất cần thiết. Cái việc làm của sư phụ như thế này tôi rất là tâm đắc.
Quả cầu đang nóng lên, tức là nguyên tắc thì tất cả những cân bằng phải tan, mà phải tan thì mặt nước biển phải vắng. Vô Thiền Sư Thanh Hải trong giai đoạn này là một sứ giả, hay là một con người sứ mệnh của vũ trụ, con người sứ mệnh của Thượng Đế để thực hiện cái nhiệm vụ này, để đánh thức tất cả nhân loại trên trái đất này hãy trở về với chính mình, biết mình, thương mình và tự chăm sóc cho chính mình. Chúng ta bắt đầu chúng ta làm thế nào mà chặn đứng lại cái tình trạng là hủy hoại của trái đất. Chúng ta đang sống hành tinh này đang bị hâm nóng này. Tiếng nói Vô Thường Sư Thanh Hải là tiếng nói loan tỏa nhân rộng khắp càn khôn vũ trụ này, đánh thức vũ trụ này và nhận diện tất cả cây cỏ chim muôn trên vòng vật này đều là huynh đệ anh em, một tiếng nói hết sức vô giá. Xin màn phép được chúc ngài Vô Thiền Sư Thanh Hải luôn đầy đủ nguồn năng lượng lớn thì Vô Thiền Sư tiếp tục truyền tải được cái thông điệp của chính ngài đến với toàn khắp vũ trụ.
May mắn khi Tâm được dự được buổi hội thảo này, nghe được những lời của sư phụ dạy về cách ăn chay để bảo tồn địa cầu xinh đẹp của chúng ta. Tâm chỉ nghĩ thuần túy là mình theo đạo Phật thì mình ăn chay để theo cái hướng dạy của Phật. Nhưng mà lần đầu tiên thì Tâm mới đến đây thì Tâm nghe lời của sư phụ dạy thì Tâm mới biết ý nghĩa là thêm một cái ý nghĩa là mình ăn chay thì mình có thể giúp cho cái địa cầu mình bảo tồn, cái địa cầu mình mãi mãi xinh đẹp như vậy.
Trước đây thì mình cũng có đọc sách về môi trường để tìm hiểu, thì mình biết đấy là ví dụ như khí CFC, khí CO2 hay là khí CH4, nhưng mà mình hoàn toàn lại không biết rằng là khí CH4 lại là một cái thủ phạm gây ra cái hiệu ứng nhà kính và cái sự nóng lên của toàn cầu lớn như thế. Và hơn nữa là cái nguyên nhân chính mà tạo ra cái khí CH4 đấy lại là cái ngành chăn nuôi và cái công nghiệp giết mổ động vật. Ở trong hội thảo thì cái giải pháp lớn nhất và giải pháp mà được hầu hết mọi người tập trung đấy vào là chúng ta hãy trở thành những người ăn chay và sống một cái lối sống xanh. Qua những cái trả lời của ngài thì mình cảm nhận đấy là ngài có một cái tình yêu sâu sắc vô bờ bến dành cho các loài động vật hoang dã. Đấy là một cái tình yêu xuất phát từ trong trái tim.
Tôi nghĩ là cái cuộc hội thảo như thế này thì nó hết sức là hữu ích đối với cái vấn đề tình hình môi trường hiện tại đang rất là khẩn cấp. Con người chúng ta là sanh ra để ăn thực vật chứ không phải ăn động vật. Thế như vậy là chúng ta ăn lộn, ăn sai thức ăn. Như vậy nó dẫn đến một loạt các cái bệnh lý đang gia tăng trên toàn cầu như là tim mạch, ung thư, tiểu đường, loãng xương, gút vân vân. Và đồng thời nó cũng gây những cái sự tàn phá môi trường, môi sinh, tàn phá rừng, sử dụng tài nguyên không hợp lý. Và đồng thời nó đi ngược lại cái bản thể của con người là đầy tình thương yêu trắc ẩn.
Tôi đã được thưởng thức những cái món ăn chay rất là ngon và rất nhiều người cũng nói rằng là nếu như mà ăn chay như thế này thì tôi có thể ăn chay suốt đời được. Và tôi sẽ luôn luôn ghi nhớ một điều mà sư phụ đã trả lời cho tất cả quan khách ở tại hội trường, đó chính là cái giải pháp để giúp cho chúng ta giữ được địa cầu xinh đẹp. Nó không hề quá khó khăn, tôi nghĩ rằng ai cũng có thể làm được. Chỉ đơn giản là ăn chay, sống xanh và cứu địa cầu thì chúng ta sẽ có được tất cả.